Wait, oh, have you ever made chicken stew? I mean the authentic Nigerian chicken stew, and you've had a flop. Then come closer because this recipe was specially created for you. Hey, my lovelies, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today we'll be making chicken stew, the very authentic Nigerian chicken stew. And let me quickly run you through the ingredients. We'll be using some chicken. I'm using some chicken, of course, it's a chicken stew. I'm using some onions and tatashe, that is bell peppers. I'm using some tomatoes, some vegetable oil. I'm using some Scotch bonnet and Shombo. Just all the pepper blends. I'm using some salt, some seasoning cube, some curry leaf as my herb and vegetable of choice, and of course some of my favorite spices. So these are all the ingredients you need. All of them will be detailed in the caption down below, or rather in the description box down below. So first off, you want to have your clean pot on fire and go in with your washed chicken. I'm using frozen chicken for this. Just cut them into bite-sized pieces. Adding my onion. I love to add peppers when I'm baking my stock base. So I added some Scotch bonnet peppers. I went in some curry leaf, some thyme, some garlic and ginger powder, and some chicken seasoning. Then I went in with some seasoning cube and some salt to taste. That's all the ingredients I used for my stock. Like I said, it will be listed in the description box down below. Stir that until it is thoroughly incorporated. So you want to let your chicken cook for the first few minutes on its own. Don't add any liquid at all, and that is because you want it to release its own juice. Let the flavor from the chicken come out. So we're just going to cover that, and then in another pot, don't worry, this might be new, but don't worry, you're about to create the best chicken stew. In another pot, you're going to add all of your tomato base. Well, that's your peppers, your tomato, and your onion. I added, okay, no, I didn't add, but if you have some garlic, you can do well to add that too. And then I'm going to go ahead to season this with all of you. Use just all of your favorite seasoning as much as you could. I use my salt, seasoning cube, and some of my spices. I'm gonna give that a stir and let it cook. What we're actually doing is, unlike the normal method of parboiling before, like blending and then parboiling, we're actually parboiling it in this form, and the spices will just help add tons of flavor into your tomato base. So by the time you're cooking, all of your base, your tomato base already has enough flavor. We're not adding any water. We're going to let this cook and release all of its juice. Back to our chicken. Our chicken has released its own natural juice, and so we're going to go in with more because we need that stock to cook and enough water to cook it. Now, of course, this is a very soft chicken. If you're using a hard chicken, you might want to let this cook for longer. But since it's a soft chicken, in less than 10 minutes, it was already cooked. We'll be frying this, so you don't want it to overcook so it doesn't scatter. So I'm going to take this out, get another clean pot, go in with some vegetable oil and fry that chicken. Yes, guys, we're gonna fry that chicken until it is crisp and golden brown, as you can see me do. So if you're watching already to this point and you love what you're seeing, kindly give this a like, kindly share, and don't forget to subscribe to this channel because more amazing recipes like this will be popping up on your screen, right? All right, thank you. So back to our base. Oh my god, guys, look at the water that has been released from that tomato juice. Exactly, that's what we want. So we're going to sieve this, take out the tomato, and then we're going to discard that water because we don't need. And all of those spices that we've added have been infused into the tomato base. That's how we want it. You guys get? Yes. So we're going to sieve this. I'm using a sieve basket for this so that any excess water can be drained out. We just want our tomato base to be there. And then we're going to transfer that to a blender. You can actually let this cool down, except you're using, of course, a high duty blender. Let this cool, and then we're going to transfer that and blend. Now back to our chicken. Our chicken is already frying really nicely. If you don't have an idea of when to know when your chicken is fried, just let it fry until it is crisp and golden brown like you can see on the screen, and you know your chicken is well ready for a turn. So I flipped that over and let it fry on other side. So you want it to fry on both sides. Once it's fried like the way you see, you're going to take that out and repeat the process all over again until you've exhausted all of your chicken pieces. Yes. And so you don't want to overcrowd your chicken when you're frying so that it doesn't start soaking too much oil. So back to our tomato base, we're going to blend this all up together to a fine paste. Very fine paste, very smooth and sleek. We're not adding any water to our blender. We're blending it just as it is. You guys get? Alright. So we're done with all of our chicken, and this is what you want to be having. Our blender, we're done blending our tomato too, and look at that, it is literally looking like a tomato paste, so thick. And this just helps make your cooking process very easy. Moving on, cooking won't even take, before you know, you're done cooking. So we're going to going with some onions into that granite oil that we already used to fry that chicken, because we want that flavor from the chicken. When our onions is fried, translucent, we're going to go in with some tomato paste. This is actually optional, but I needed to add it. Now, hear me out very well, guys. If you're adding tomato paste, then you want to make sure you fry it, like fry the living daylight out of that. That's because tomato paste is naturally tangy and bitter to the tongue. So you want to fry that so it will take as much of the bitterness out of the tomato paste as you can. You're going to fry that very well. Added a bit of thyme, because I like to season as I cook. It just helps elevate my cooking game to the next level. So you can see me fry and stir. It must not burn. It must not burn. So fry consistently. Don't leave that pot as far as you're frying your tomato paste, because you don't want, once it burns, you're already tampering with the texture. Then we go in with our blended tomato paste, and look at that thick red paste, guys. And we're going to stir that very well. You want to combine with the onions, the paste, the oil. We're going to cover that and allow it to fry. Like I said, this is going to be a very fast process. You want to use enough onion, so enough oil rather, so that your tomato base doesn't burn. And you can see now that it is already fried, because all of our oil is already floating on top. Then you want to go in with your chicken, and this is so that your chicken will have time to, play and soak up all of that tomato juice, so that it releases its own flavor into the juice, into the base of the tomato. Then I added some baking soda. If you can see, yes, that's the baking soda, because I tasted my stew and I was feeling like it was a bit tasty. So you can use either baking soda, just a bit, or baking powder. That works well. It will take out any bitter taste from your stew. I added some oil because I needed it to fry well. I don't want it to burn. You should not allow your stew burn, guys. I went in with a few seasoning cube, and some salt. Gave that a good stir and allowed it to fry further. We're already towards the end of this cooking process. Added some chicken stock, because my stew was a bit thick, and then the best of course is our chicken stock. All of that nutrients from the chicken stock. Cover and let it cook. We clean as we cook. Of course, we're making stew, it will splatter everywhere. So guys, we are already 95% done. Lastly, we'll be going in with some greens. I used fresh curry leaves for this and gave that a good stir. Ooh, guys, can you see our stew is already coming together? And that is how we make the authentic Nigerian chicken stew. Very easy, very fast. Yes, guys. So if you love this recipe and you will be recreating it, please don't forget to comment. If you have any questions, you can always ask in the comment section, and I'll be there to reply you. You can have this with rice, yam, pasta, whatsoever you like to have. And I hope you enjoyed this recipe and will also be trying it. Don't forget to subscribe, Ulo, if you have not. And I'll see you in my next video. Take care, guys.